I don't know whether they got. Even my children, my son he is in the university. This morning he called me and they said, "Dad, I'm being asked the brown envelope. Have you seen it?" Yeah, have not seen. Have not heard of it. Yeah? So that leaves me. In fact, I have no questions.
To be honest, Kaunda, where you sit today, being day 4 since this started, and there are no meetings. Is there goodwill from where you sit to end the stalemate that there is? If there are no meetings to end the crisis that the country finds itself in, because let's face it, if we're waiting for the president to come back, yet we have cabinet secretaries who run these departments, who should be able to make decisions and just advise or update the president on what is going on. Is there goodwill if we are not having meetings since Tuesday?
Well, I'll leave the goodwill to the Kenyan people.
I think the Kenyan people have goodwill to survive.
Yes. Yes, that is where, because I agree with you totally. They have the goodwill to survive.
Do you think that, because right now, and I think this is where this conversation started with, across platforms on Monday, that there's no question that fuel prices are too high. There's no question that the end user, who is the person who has to get into a vehicle, the person who has to go from point A to point B, is the one who is going to suffer this, because they'll have to pay more from a place where they don't have it. That people will have to pay 150 shillings where they were normally paying 30 shillings with the price of fuel. And that even industry players cannot afford this. They can't afford this, because that means their bottom line then is decreased significantly. It is not a question about emotions or whether somebody feels a certain way on a Monday. The truth of the matter is that they are too high. People cannot afford it. It is ruining people. Now, and so in order to solve that problem, let's not have a conversation about who looks nice on Tuesday. Let's have a conversation about how you're going to reduce the thing to at least manageable amounts that people can then even try to afford. So there's no romanticizing this thing. It is reduce the prices so that we can move and find a way to do that, right?
Yes.
Now, in your you said so far there's no conversation, even from the Chinese telephone. Do you think that come Tuesday, they will come to people and say, actually, you know what? We've reduced this thing by 30 shillings. Do you see that? Because you were the one in the inner sanctum. You had these conversations with these guys. Do you see that this goodwill that you talk about, is there goodwill to reduce this thing? Let's even go with diesel and petrol by 30 shillings. Is there goodwill? Do you think it will be, that means knock off another 20 shillings? Truth, Kaunda, do you think that they will do it?
From where I sit, with all due respect.
Yes, of course.
I still feel that we have goodwill.
My question is,
from my people, and looking forward to have that goodwill from them. That is why we are giving them a benefit of doubt.
Yeah.
The people who will make a decision to reduce the cost of these fuel products are not the people in your industry.
In your meeting.
They're not the people that you have, the stakeholders.
Yes.
I'm talking about the people that you addressed to say, excuse me, Mr. CS, this is not a conversation that we had. Those are the guys
yes,
who you've told Kenyans that they will come back to us and they will tell us in 7 days. But the minimum that you have put, in fact, the chairman of the Amatatu Association is the one who said the minimum is that if in 7 days they have not, we will go back on strike. My question is, from the rumblings, the chatter about, do you think that this fuel will come down by more than this 10 shillings that it currently is now?
I have a feeling that fuel will come down, because the
By
10
Tuesday.
shillings we did not, I did not agree with the 10 shillings, even the Kenyan people, you see. As we speak now, the fares, they were increased,
Yeah.
50%. They didn't go, despite of the 10 shillings being lowered. So as a believer,
yes,
7-day Adventist,
okay,
I believe that always there is hope. I have hope.
It's good to have
that
hope.
We are going to have a goodwill from Sakaja, because he's the one who offered himself as our guarantor. And I dare him that come Tuesday, he will stand in front of the nation and speak to us.
Kaunda, you remember in April, the fuel prices as well went up, and it took the president for VAT to be reduced from 6% to 8%, and that had to go to Parliament for that to be approved. That means if we are to see the change in fuel today, then it is Parliament that has to be called in to change the law in terms of levies and taxes that are in that space. That if we are to be honest today, then we would see some movement in Parliament to change that. Like rightfully so, you said, the president cannot change that because he does not have power over Parliament. The cabinet secretaries cannot change anything because they do not have power over Parliament. It is Parliament that is supposed to change that. The president can start that process through Treasury or through the ministry and take that to Parliament. If that is not happening, then come Tuesday and we do not see anything, are we back to the streets?
I will remember that when during our conversation, I said there are so many things happening.
Yeah.
And one of the things, again, we saw a letter. We saw a letter going around from the minister, Dindi Njono.
Yeah.
As we speak, the Parliament is in recess.
Recess, yes.
And there is a demand that these guys
be recalled.
Be recalled.
Mm-hmm.
You see, we tried to give solutions to the CS children and body during our conversation that, the president has an autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
And they said he cannot give an executive order. So we are looking at so many things. And for me, come Tuesday, if all of us can say enough is enough and go to the street, but I fear so much for my life,
Yeah.
Yeah, I fear so much.
Why are you afraid?
Of course, I've received a lot of calls since that moment.
Saying what?
Of course, I'm not supposed to be here today. Actually, if I had changed my number, you could have not reached me.
Why would you be changing your number,
because
Kennedy?
people are calling me. They said, okay, I'm an embarrassment. There are those calling my other colleagues whom we work with in the tourism industry. Remember, I am from the tourism industry as a tour guide.
Yeah.
Even I have some of my colleagues who are ridiculed me because, what business do I have to do with Matatu? What they don't understand, that a tour guide and tourism with transport go hand in hand.
Yes.
And I'm here to fight for the right of all of us.
Kaunda, are you being threatened?
What?
Are you being threatened? Through
I've
the
been
phone
told,
calls?
I've been told I'm an embarrassment, so I should check my words before I speak them. Sometimes when I want to speak at the moment, I have to be very careful. You are speaking to the authority. I confronted the people whom we have bestowed power upon. Some people are saying that I broke the protocol. Okay?